All right, welcome. In the world of finance, it often feels like there are these invisible hands pulling all the strings, right? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out who, or maybe what, is really in control. We'll be looking at everything from the Aussie economy to the wild world of crypto.
So if you want to understand what's really going on with your mortgage, your stocks, even your crypto wallet, it all boils down to one single question. What is the one force driving all the major decisions right now?
And here's the thing. The answer isn't some billionaire in a boardroom or a huge corporation. Nope. It's a powerful economic force, a global puppet master that's making markets everywhere dance to its tune.
So who is this puppet master? It's interest rates. Seriously, if you can figure out which way they're headed, you've got the master key to understanding where pretty much the entire market is going, not just here in Australia, but all across the globe.
And this all kicks off in the US, right? The Federal Reserve just nudged its key rate down by 25 basis points. That's just a tiny 0.25%. But bam! A single move like that sends these huge waves across the entire globe. For any asset that has some risk to it, whether it's stocks or crypto, the path of interest rates is the story right now. Period.
Okay, so that's the big global picture. But how does all that pressure actually land here at home? Well, down under, we're not just dealing with those ripples. We've got a couple of our own major headaches to deal with. And these are fundamental challenges to our traditional financial system.
First up, we've got this standoff over inflation. Everyone was kind of hoping, crossing their fingers, that the Reserve Bank of Australia would start cutting rates soon. But the reality, inflation is just, it's sticky. It's not going away. And that's pushing any hope for relief way, way down the road. And here's the number that's causing all the grief. 3%. That was the latest headline inflation figure, and it was higher than pretty much anyone hoped for. For the RBA, that's a huge red flag. As long as that number is sitting up there, rate cuts are they're not even on the table.
All right, on to headache number 2. And this one, wow. This is a direct quote from the RBA, and it's a pretty public shot aimed squarely at the Australian Securities Exchange. This isn't just some friendly feedback. This is a serious criticism about the very core of how our stock market works. And that's exactly why this is such a big deal. We're not talking about a minor technical glitch here. When the country's central bank starts openly questioning the fundamental operations of the stock exchange, it chips away at trust. It's like finding a crack in the very foundation of our capital markets. It is a very big deal.
Okay, let's hit the brakes on the slow-moving world of central banks and do a complete 180. We're diving into the high-speed, chaotic world of the crypto market, which has just been through an absolutely wild week.
Get a load of this number. $1.5 billion. That's how much money just got wiped out. Poof, gone, in a massive wave of liquidations. It was one of the biggest sell-offs of 2025, and it's a brutal reminder of just how volatile this space can be. And the pressure isn't just coming from those liquidations. There's another storm brewing. An estimated $4.5 billion worth of tokens are scheduled to be unlocked this month. Think of it like a flood of new supply hitting the market all at once, which, you guessed it, can really push prices down. But here's where it gets really interesting. If you look past all of that chaos and check the on-chain data, you see a different story. Yeah, the short-term traders, what people call the weak hands, they're getting shaken out and selling. But the long-term holders, they're just holding on tight. And at the same time, you got these massive institutional ETFs that are still funneling huge amounts of capital into the market. So, what does that tell us? It tells us that out of all that chaos, a new kind of order is starting to take shape. And it's that structure, that order, that's building a bridge for the big traditional money players to finally start crossing over into the crypto world. So this part, the mainstream adoption, it's not random. It's actually starting to look pretty clear, and it's happening in steps. Step 1 is in the US, where the big regulators are finally getting on the same page and creating some clear rules. Step 2 is right here in Australia, with our own regulators building the local guardrails. And step 3, once that foundation is solid, the big institutions finally have the green light they need to jump in.
You hear this term institutional adoption thrown around a lot. So what does it actually mean? Well, this is it. It's that moment when the absolute giants of traditional finance, I'm talking about the big banks, the huge investment funds, start playing in the crypto sandbox in a real serious way. And hey, this isn't some far-off prediction. It is happening right now. Right here. A huge financial firm like IG Group just bought a local crypto exchange, Independent Reserve.
That's it. That's the proof. The bridge isn't just being built. The big players are already walking across it.
So with all this going on, you might be wondering, what's Australia's official plan? Well, the RBA isn't just sitting back and watching. No, they are actively getting their hands dirty, experimenting with what the future of our money could look like. And this experiment is called Project Acacia. It started with some initial research, but now it's in phase 2, actively piloting new tech. We're talking about stablecoins, basically digital tokens pegged one-to-one with the Aussie dollar. And they're even looking into a potential central bank digital currency. You know, an official digital version of our cash. The big idea is to see if this stuff could completely reshape how we all pay for things.
Okay, so why should you care about any of this? Well, a digital Australian dollar could mean paying for anything from your morning coffee to a new car instantly. Imagine buying a house and the whole settlement process happens automatically and totally transparently. This stuff opens up a whole new universe of what we can do with programmable money.
So look, from stubborn inflation and creaky old financial systems all the way to the rise of brand new digital assets, the actual rulebook for finance is being completely rewritten right now in real time. This isn't sci-fi. The next chapter is unfolding as we speak. So the only question left is, are you ready for it?